Welcome back to the AB Scale Project. I'm Krager, and this is Alpha Bravo, and today we're starting out with a box. And inside that box is another box. And inside this other box is the final box. Okay. Well, until we crack this one open anyway. So we got Omega Prime. Our Haslab finally showed up just 30 minutes ago, so this will be the first time for you and me, so crack this open. First, we'll show you the box here. You got this nice Omega Prime picture with the little guy over here. Turn to this side, we got Optimus. Turn it to the other side, we got Ultra Magnus. On the back, we got our product shots with the Omega Prime with his Matrix blade. You got a Titan Master Cerebros down there, or they just showed you they can fit there. You got Optimus in his forms. You got Bluebolts and then Ultra Magnus. So that's pretty cool. On top, you got the power picture there. On bottom, you got the Omega Prime with his Matrix blade. So that's pretty cool, and that's kind of heavy. So let's look what's on inside of this box. And in a shocking M. Night Shyamalamish twist, we've got more boxes. So let's crack into these boxes. We're going to start with the little guy here. Just off the side there. Little guy, this should be our Matrix blade. Yep. See, he's a big dude there. You can see with the blade next to Alpha Bravo there. Yeah, that's a big boy. Pop these out. I do like that they just do pop out, so it'll be easy to restow. It's not just the plastic stringy clips. And that one just doesn't want to come out. There you go. Alright. And I think that goes there. Do I have it backwards? I might have it backwards. Yep, there we go. That's the way you do it. Stick that in there. There. And you got the massive Matrix blade there. So that's pretty cool. Got some Cybertronian on there. I'm sure somebody in the comments will tell me what it actually says, because I'm too lazy to look it up right now. But there's the Matrix blade. That was one of the special add-ons for getting all the people to buy into it. So that's pretty cool. And I think these boxes where the rubber hits the road. This one we get, take that piece out. Oh yeah, look at this. There's Optimus right there. Get his gun out of here. So that's cool. Does it still fit underneath here? Doesn't look like it. All right, I'm going to get the plastic off of this, and then we'll start looking at the Optimus Prime component. And here we have the Haslab RID 2001 Optimus Prime. His full truck mode is cool. He rolls really well. Very stiff, clickety-clacky. Good stuff there. Got all his missile components up there. Cool stuff. And now get that to pop, and you see that moves around. You can flip these out for your water guns. And they're actually on ball joints. That's pretty cool. So, see, so wherever you want to go with those, you can squirt. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool. And just by handling it, this is a lot more solid than the original. Let me bring in the original here. See, the original, it's kind of just held on with a couple of clips, and that's about it. The original also had the flip out after you had the spring-loaded click outs. But yeah, you can see, let's see if I get them both in the shot here. A little bit, there we go. You can see the new versus old, and you can see the new one, definitely a lot more developed, a lot more of the details, looks more like a fire truck. So that's pretty cool. Still has the super form head stuck there. Mine's a little broke. But anyway, mine was collected, so there's a lot more convincing ladder here, where this that's kind of a dangerous ladder on that one. And the original had a little bit softer click, where this is really louder click. But yeah, pretty cool, pretty neat. Let's give an all sides view here. There's the front. There's the other side. Like I said, the old one, the panels just want to try to pop off just as you're moving them around. And see the back here. We get a license plate on the new one. So pretty neat. See underneath there. Looking just about the same. So that is pretty cool. Moving old one off to the side for now. But that is pretty neat. Let's go ahead and transform the Optimus component and check it out. Before we go to the transforming, I just mentioned that you can store the gun like you did with the original underneath there, making it a 7th wheel. So pretty cool. So, and instead of going on to the transformation just yet, I'm going to go ahead and crack open the rest of the boxes. So, let's go into the next box. And here's our next long box in our pack. And this one has our Ultra Magnus components. All the Gleamy there. Top there. And there's the Ultra Magnus. So, let me get all these parts attached and we'll take a look at him. And here is Ultra Magnus with his bumper on and the ears on the Omega Prime head. That's got halfway on transform it to get to, but hey, we're back to the vehicle mode. So it looks really good. I mean, I am digging this a lot. I mean, underneath it, everything that the old one had rolls pretty well. Still not quite all level on the wheels. It's better when I'm not going over the center of the table. But it looks good. I really like it. And again, much more solid. As you're handling this, you don't feel like it's going to fall apart, as opposed to the old one, which is only held together with a prayer pretty much. And yeah, they added a lot more tension to it so it'll stay together. And you kind of see how mine's yellowed a bit. Let's do a comparison here of the new to the old, just so you can see them. Like I said, mine doesn't like to stay up there, but yeah. Turn around, there's the back side. Actually, I think that looks a lot cleaner. Flip it around, so then the shut, so they are side by side. And the fronts, like I said, some yellowing on my old copy. And, like I was saying, much more solid. There's the underside. So, yeah, I'm definitely really happy with just the feel of the vehicle mode of the new Ultra Magnus. Just because, man, you can just handle this all day, shake it up, whatever you want to do. It's not going anywhere. I mean, the old one might have done that when it was fresh out of the package, and I might be missing some parts, but I'm still much happier with this. All right, let's go on to the last box. All right, we got the last wide flat box. And this one has all the rest of the stuff. We've got our components for our space bridge. So there's the first part. Our stand, or that's the ramp for the space bridge. Bluebolts that I'm going to have to free in a second. And then more components and Cerebros. So we do have a Cerebros with us. So let me crack all the rest of this out and we'll look at the final packages. All right, we'll start off with the space bridge / stands. So it's pretty cool that they give you two of them. These are extra pieces. They are identical. But they did give you two stands, so you can run those in and have two individual stands if you want to have Optimus and Magnus, or Super Optimus and Magnus on there. It's pretty cool. It comes with additional support should you need it to hold the people in place. So that's pretty cool. You got a couple attach points here depending on who you have attached where, so that's pretty neat. Pop these back out. Put these together. And you have your full bridge there. So you can act like that they just came in off the space bridge. And it makes a little, pretty neat little picturesque little thing. So, good display. Pretty neat. Nice dual stands. So that's pretty cool. Alright, next component. The tuck top are Cerebros there. So pretty cool, like some of our other Titan Masters. And I got the Cerebros head there. That's from the Japanese release of Fortress Maximus, that version of Cerebros head. So that's pretty cool. So we can pick up one of the new re-releases of the Fortress Maximus and repaint it, and you can use this as the head. So comes with its own built-in project. So, and last but not least, we got Bluebolts, and he's pretty cool. He's got a ton of articulation, really stiff joints, and a little bit of ankle tilt, not extreme, but still pretty good. You look behind, hardly anything on the back, so that's good. He's pretty flat, just a little bit of hollowness just for transformation's sake. But yeah, that's pretty neat. And of course, Bluebolts replaces, get him a stand, replaces this guy. That is the bane of my existence, and you see I had to find some other parts to put it together. But yeah, I have a hard time attaching this thing to the originals, so not having the instructions and probably, you know, the fact that these are the same and not opposites when I did a repair. But yeah. Anyway, that's Bluebolts. I look forward to using him instead of this thing. Okay, now we'll go ahead and go into some other components. Actually, before we do that, put these aside. We'll bring back in the new Optimus, just so you can see Cerebros fitting into the side pocket there. So that's pretty neat. Alright, let's go ahead and let's look at the components now. And here we go. Here we have the Optimus Prime primary component. And it looks really good. It looks a lot like the old. We'll bring the old one out here in a second, but it is just really neat. And they gave them some spring-loaded flaps here for a little bit extra dimension. And his arms can do anything you want, this twist. And you can have the old tray look if you want, or you can just go ahead and slide it back so that he has hands free. He's got his gun. So pretty cool. Legs, really clacky, just because they are the super mode legs as well. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Now, there has been some QC complaints about when you press this in and it damaging the tabs that are on it. So I'm being really careful with that. So I might have to go in and do the repair that I saw for that and fix that right there. But yeah, otherwise, it looks pretty good. Lots of posability. Pretty thick thighs. But otherwise, it looks really good. I'll bring in the original. You can see just a bit taller, and you can just see what a difference a few years make. About 24, but yeah. Then you also see the yellowing that's happening to mine. But yeah, Give them a quick spin. And for them, yeah, we did lose the sound component, but yeah, I'm not too heartbroken about losing the sound component. That's, some of you out there might be, but I'm not too bothered by it. So yeah, you can also do his, move Alpha out of the way for a sec, Mighty Missile mode. I'll show the same as the original. Yeah, it actually seems like he actually does have smaller missiles than the original did. But yeah, you can do the Mighty Missile mode, so that's pretty cool. Alright, we'll set him aside for a minute. Go ahead and take the missile shoulder pads off. And we'll do one last comparison, which will go ahead and bring in the SS-86, which you can see SS-86 was already a return to the original Voyager size. So you can see this guy is even bigger. So he's pretty big. So yeah, that is Optimus Prime. All right. Oh, one more thing. There's always going to be one more thing. Got the stand. You can put this peg into this hole down here. Stick that in there, and you can get your cool dynamic shots with a lot of clicking and then repressing that back in. So yeah, that's pretty neat. So yeah, let's check out the super mode. And here we have the super mode Prime, and as you can see, he just keeps getting bigger. There is a base mode. I really don't care about base modes, so we've skipped right to the combined mode here. He does have a matrix underneath here that you can remove that. I don't want to, so he's just going to stay there. Lots of good articulation. A little bit here. You can probably flip that up and get a little bit more on the shoulder there. Fully all around there. Has the original articulation there. Wrist there. Can close. The thumb can move. That's more to serve base mode. But yeah. It's open and close. So that's pretty cool. The legs do the same thing as Optimus Prime did. They did transfer the wrist and ankle tilt to the super mode parts. So he does have a good, you can get a really good A stance out of him. And that's really cool. Turn him around here and you can see the ladder back there. And how he looks from behind. So yeah, pretty neat. And you can flip that around for his, and flip those out again for his cannon of doom. Pretty cool. And of course, you know, these things flip out too for their missiles. Let's see, I believe. Yeah, I figured it out. But these also flip out. So you can have all your missiles popped out there too. So that's really cool. Yeah. Heavy ratchets. And the head's in a ball joint and can do whatever. So, yep. He is a big boy. We'll bring in the original. You can see literally head and shoulders above the other one. So, and just looks so much better. Also, where the old one, you kind of use that as a tripod back there to keep him upright. This one is not contacting in the back. That is all standing on his own legs. So that's pretty neat. And I liked how they made the abs, you know, functional here, because that's where you roll this out at. And yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, this one had your, looks like it had a matrix chamber 2. You could flip up. See that? Non-removable. But this one, you can remove the box matrix out of there. So really cool. That is really neat. And definitely, again, a lot more stable than the original. Then we take your stand again, and it just goes right into the same back of the crotch hole as Optimus. So you can use the stand on him. Basically, you only use this part for Ultra Magnus, but we'll get to that. So, yeah, that looks really cool. So if you want to do some sort of really awkward shot of him walking or something, and stick him on the stand. You can also flip that around, use that side of the stand too if you want to. So, yeah. Have to flip it around on the stand, but you get the idea. So that's pretty neat. I do like the fact that they keep getting stands with the Haslabs. Granted, they're all unlockables because that's just encouragement to get everybody to join in, and so that everybody can have their figure stands. So yeah, that's about it for the super mode. So let's look at Ultra Magnus. And here we got our Ultra Magnus, and he looks really good. Turn him around there. He fits together really well. Pretty, a lot of gapping in there, but I mean, that you can't help that. But otherwise, he looks really good. His head moves around, the ball joint, pretty good. Arms have a ton of movement in them. Wrist swivel, hands open up. That's all good. The legs, everything. Even got a good knee joint in there. Got your ankle tilt. So yeah, looks great. And he just looks really good, like he jumped out of the cartoon. There you go. And all the clickety-clackety joints. Get him stand up straight. Yeah, he just looks really good. We'll do a size comparison. We'll bring in the Studio Series 86, and you get an idea of how big he is. Because this guy's just almost back to the old leader size, and you see still bigger. Bring in the new Prime Super mode. And you see, yeah, the Prime is still a little bit taller, but they look good together, I think. Close his head again. So we'll bring in, and finally, we'll bring in the original, which, yeah, just tons more life put into this brand new one. This one's flat, static. If you try to pose it in any way, he's not going to stand up. You have about that much in the elbow, where this one has a ton at the elbow. I mean, it is, like I said, this is so much more, it got so much more dynamicism to it, a lot more life. I like it. It does have less moving parts, but they actually work. Everything pins together better. Yeah, all around, this is a clean sweep of, this is a ton better on the Ultra Magnus. I mean, this is probably where they spent most of their engineering, where a lot of the Optimus Prime was derivative. But yeah, Ultra Magnus, they definitely did a ton of work on him. So yeah, that's about it. I think this is, as far as winning the most improved award, right here. All right. Oh, yeah, one more thing. Got the stand. Here's where this little guy comes in. You have to snap here. You also have to flip the stand around because the mount holes are right here in front on his crotch. So, or dangling out beside his crotch anyway. Stick that in there, line the holes, press it in. And that's him on a stand. And, nothing's going to knock him over. Just another comment about the stability of these guys. This is super stable, where I wouldn't have shaken the old one for nothing. This guy is just super stable. Like I said, they added in so many more tab-in points, and just with the clickety-clackety joints, everything works out just great. So you see him. Yeah, this is pretty awesome. All right, let's get to our finale. Let's get to Omega Prime. And here we go. Finally, we're at Omega Prime. He's pretty cool. He's got double jointed fingers. Nothing individual, just double jointed. The thumbs will come up. He's got a bunch of movement. Some of the kibble does resist it a little bit. He has all of Prime's leg stuff. He has another ankle tilt down there. So yeah, he looks really good. And Bluebolts in his upper gun configuration versus the old one here. So, and you can, if you want to, flip that up or however you want to do it. But there is specific tab ends for it going, that way. So you kind of see it in there. So yeah, that all tabs in together really well. We can turn that up there. We'll plant him up there. Looking good, looking good. Just another size comparison. We'll bring in the Ultra Magnus again, just so you can see how much bigger he is. He's a big boy. Now he'll shift over just a little bit. And again, decently solid. I will say that. He is pretty solid. This is really impressive. Bring in the original. Slightly yellowed. We'll put the original gun on. And it's like, I didn't realize how much I was doing wrong with the old one until I got the new one. Anyway. But the old ones did have an ankle tilt, but man, it's a lot shakier. They've added like 3 more contact points on the legs. These are solid, and I like they added the Autobot symbol to them. Well, we'll put him out too. But yeah, so much better. The Ultra Magnus head tucks away better on the new one. Yeah, the colors are more vibrant. I don't know how much else to say on that. And I like that you actually have the cartoon appearance chest instead of what they made look better on the cartoon when it's just Ultra Magnus's stubs there. Turn here, you can see how compact that is versus this guy. Granted, I could probably flip these around to something, but I like the way it packs away on the new one a lot better. So, yeah, that's it. Let's take the old one out for a sec. Yeah, he looks great. So, our final thing is our massive sword. And there's 3 slots here, 3 slots here, 3 slots here. And all those 3 slots correspond to 3 tabs that are in his hand. So, see if we can get this to work. Put those 3 tabs in there, close the hand, and voila. We'll get it better. Kind of press it in there. There we go. There's his massive sword. I'll just kind of track up. It just keeps going and going and going. And I don't feel like taking the camera back that far. So, there he is. And he does fit on the stand like Optimus did, just because he's back to using the back of Optimus's crotch again. So, gotta readjust the stand for him and take off the extra Ultra Magnus bit. Yep. Stick that back on there. Actually, it looks like we need to, actually do need it in the Ultra Magnus configuration. Just because we need the extra height to get in there. There we go. There he is on the stand. Looking good. Let's see if we can actually get enough. Oh, this is stiff. It's like it goes right this way and it kind of stops in that direction. So we'll just Move it this way. See if we can't get into a dual wield position here. Let's stick that in there. And it's a little short there, but we can get facsimile thereof, and it looks pretty good. There you go. Now you get an idea of how big that sword is. And that is pretty awesome. And so put off Bravo there. Go ahead and add in our little Cerebros down there. And I think that looks pretty awesome. And I think I'm just going to end it there. So, great toy. I think this is well worth the money. A drastic improvement on Ultra Magnus and on the Ultra Prime. Super stable. I mean, head and shoulders above the originals. Yeah, recommend. Even though you probably can't get it now unless you get it on the scalpers market. But anyway, thank you for joining us today on the AB Scalp Project. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, ring that bell, and I'll see y'all later.